Classes of Character and a Politics of Inner Self. In Black Milk, Elif Shafak's memoir on motherhood and writing, the novelist recounts how she has always felt herself to be fragmented into a number of little imaginary selves. She imagines these as an assortment of women no larger than a finger who follow her around and bicker among themselves, together forming what she calls the choir of discordant voices. Shafak frames the internal tensions between these different parts of herself as a central theme in her experience of postpartum depression. The resolution to this crisis occurs after Shafak receives advice from one of her selves, the ever-wise Dame Dervish, and she says, "I think one of these days you should sign a peace treaty with all of us. The reason why the finger women are quarrelling so much among themselves is because you are quarrelling with us. You think some of us are more worthy than others, while in truth, we are all reflections of you. All of us make up a whole." Throughout the memoir, the dynamics between Shafak's multiple selves are likened to diverse political systems. At times, the organization of her characters resembles an oligarchy, with a select coalition of voices reigning over the rest. At others, it resembles a monarchy, a dictatorship, and finally, a painstaking democracy. In other words, there are inequalities between Shafak's characters, with some dominating over others, and the subordinated ones engaging in a struggle for agency. Together, they display the features of a society of individuals managing their common stakes against the centrifugal forces of their divergent interests. For Shafak, the model of self presented is one of multiple competing fragments making up a whole, whereby the job of the memoir is to narrate their gradual reconciliation and acceptance over their differences. The model of the distributed person, which we encountered in Chapter 2, differs from this fragmented model of self in that it does not first presuppose the integrity of a whole that can then be divided into fragments. Nonetheless, the different miniature selves, as illustrated by Shafak's fragmented model, are themselves part of a communal repertoire. This is why her characters take on an archetypal flavour, as hinted by their names: Little Miss Practical, Dame Dervish, Milady Ambitious Chekhovian, Miss Highbrowed Cynic, Bluebell Bovary, and Mama Rice Pudding. These are then not only Shafak's characters, they are part of all our cultural inheritance. Following on from the unequal power relations displayed by Shafak's warring selves, this chapter will focus on different classes of character and how I stumbled upon them in my own work, as well as how these dynamics led me to formulate a politics of inner self, somewhat different in kind to the societal politics we are used to, but nevertheless intimately bound up with it. I will begin by describing a performance experiment which first brought the matter of character inequality to my attention. Then I will begin to classify some of these different kinds of character according to the degree to which they are tethered to the social milieu. In the final section, I will apply these ideas to ask who, which of my characters, should be doing the research or writing of the dissertation.